Hey, everybody, and thank you for coming to the chat with Castles, Capes, and Clones. I see so many people in the audience. Kelly from Kelly's Crazy Disney Addiction is here. Ginger from Just Ginger. Matt from Mickey Loot. Karen from Disney Inside. Andy. Thank you so much. And there's Allie and Pete. Yay! So, wow, we've got a whole bunch of people in the chat today. We're so excited to have you. We are Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. We're going to be talking about a few things. The way that it works is that both me and Rich, who I will introduce in a second, will go round robin on some smaller topics. And then at the end, we're going to be talking about the Genie service that Disney announced yesterday. So get ready for that. We want this show to be interactive. So I will try to answer or respond to you guys as much as I can and answer any questions that people have. So we'll go ahead and do that. But anyway, I'm Loren, and I'm here with my cousin co-pilot, Rich.
Hello. One second.
How's
I'm gonna turn off my air conditioner.
okay?
Speak amongst
You
yourselves.
do, you do that, and how's everybody doing out there? If you haven't already said so, make a comment that to let us know that you're here. We really appreciate you guys coming in. Anybody have any questions while Rich is out and about doing something?
All right, I'm good.
Okay, here he is. Okay, and Kelly says that the genie. I just don't know about it. We'll get into that
Oh
for
yeah.
sure. So definitely let us know what your reservations are when we get to that part of the topic. All right. So how are you? How are you doing?
I am good.
Yeah.
I just got back from. Well, I didn't just get back. Last night I went to Disneyland because they had that Southern California deal where you can buy 3 tickets for like $83. So I did that. But my third trip was supposed to be after August 25th, but August 25th is when the Magic Keys come out, and I'm gonna get one. So
Right.
I had to
Right.
use my third one for something. So I decided to go after work yesterday, and I did a pretty much a how many rides can I do after work challenge kind of thing. So I filmed it all, and I'm editing it now, and then hopefully it'll be out sometime in the next couple days. Um, Not gonna spoil how many rides I went on though. But I like people who've asked. I'm like, it's probably more than you expect, but it was less than I expected.
I know. I know.
So,
I can't. Well, I can't wait to see your video. I think that'll be pretty awesome.
yep. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Same old in life. I wish that there was something a little bit more exciting, but just doing the YouTube thing and enjoying everybody's programs. I pretty much watch everybody that is in the chat room right now. So
I
great
see.
channels. Follow everybody. Everybody in the chat room. Please like each other, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to each other. And if you're not subscribed to us, please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really helps. All right, so let's go ahead and go round robin on some smaller topics.
Though,
I'll
hold on one
start.
second. So I
Okay.
see in chat, is it Kelly? So when you buy the three, do you have to reserve the date at the same time? No, you do not. So what happens is when you buy the three, you just have 3 tickets, and then you can reserve your dates at a later time. So you don't have to buy them and reserve it at the same time. Because the last yesterday was a last minute reservation. I just had an open ticket, and I went on the site, and right nowadays it's pretty much you can probably pretty much reserve day of, especially on the weekdays. Weekends might be a little weird, but yeah, I had an open ticket pretty much, so I just reserved it yesterday.
Yeah. Ginger is asking, are those all lightsabers behind you?
Yes. Yes, they are.
Rich has of lightsabers, and if you didn't watch recently, he unboxed the Leia lightsaber from Rise of Skywalker. So definitely check that out if you hadn't had a chance to look at that. But he has quite the collection.
I've been collecting them since they were master replicas. So before the license went back to Hasbro.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
awesome. From the parks.
No, some of them I like. I only have two from the parks. I don't know if you can see it on. I'm trying to point. No, on screen. I think you can see one of them, but I have two from the parks, and then the rest I bought. They're Hasbro ones. So the ones at the parks are like Galaxy's Edge ones. The Hasbro ones were the ones that they've sold before, and then a couple of them are from custom places because I did a short film where I needed some stunt sabers, and so those are really they're expensive, but the hilts are like nothing. You can kind of see like this one over here. It's a very plain, but they're very strong, so they were like made for actual combat.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and start off with topics, and I'll start off first. So, Shang-Chi had its premiere. What was it? Last night or 2 days ago? Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, there have been some initial reactions that have come in, and everybody seems to be liking the film. Everybody says that Simu Liu, who plays Shang-Chi, is a natural and that he is going to be the next big superhero. And so this obviously is it touches my heart because, as you know, we are Asian American, and that this is going to be kind of the first real Asian American hero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Benedict Wong, who played Wong, has been there, but he's not as major as Shang-Chi. So this is going to be really awesome. What do you think of the recent reactions?
This made me like more excited to see this. Right, I think again, as Asians, I've seen some people kind of say that we've been represented before in cinema, and I'm like, have we though?
Yeah.
I mean, like, everyone just points at the same two or three. It's Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and then Jet Li. But, they didn't really headline major
right
motion pictures, right? I mean, you can say Rush Hour, but, that was on the strength also of Chris Tucker on there. So
they were, yeah, I mean, they were big names.
Right.
But at the same time, they weren't, I mean, this is a high profile film that, has pretty much an all Asian American cast. I've heard that the guy on the bus is really the only non-Asian.
Oh, the guy American with that sword hand?
Yeah, with the sword. Yeah.
I know he has a name. I just can't remember what that character's name is.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, so very exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I'm
happy that everything I've seen, and I've been trying to avoid anything with a lot of description and whatever, but like it's headlines, like it seems like it's being well received, so I'm glad. My biggest thing is, I am worried about its impact because I feel like because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
A lot of the movies that's come out should have had a way more impact than they have. Like Raya, I think should have had way more impact if it came out in theaters. Soul should have as well, and I fear that Shang-Chi won't resonate as much as it could have with a
Yeah.
huge theatrical. Well, I mean, it's coming out in theaters, but I mean, like, in a time when people can go freely to the theater.
Right. And a lot of people are saying this is kind of like the Black Panther for the Asian American community. And that, you know, just in terms of being different
Mhm.
and feeling different and you know yeah, I totally agree with you on that front. That I'm just hoping that it will, just do well and resonate very well with the public. And I'm just for people who are planning to watch this, I would say don't wait the 45 days to for it to go on Disney Plus. Watch this movie in the theaters. It's very important, and this is kind of a cultural milestone. So definitely check that out.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can, that'd be cool. I mean, obviously, safety and your health first. So,
Right.
especially if you're vaccinated, I'd say go for it. Because even when I went to see like Suicide Squad, there weren't a lot of people in the theater.
Yeah.
Granted, that's a rated R movie, but when I bought tickets, so I bought my tickets for Shang-Chi already, and when I went to go select the seats and stuff, there wasn't a lot of people
Right.
in there. And luckily, a lot of theaters nowadays you can select your seats,
Yeah.
so you can kind of see where everyone's sitting. And just like space yourself out.
There's a few more people that have come in. Jennifer Kelly, hello,
Hello.
and Kel from Disney Pinbird, Connie from Connie Loves Disney. Thank you all for coming in and participating in our chat. Um, let's see. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Okay. All right. So anyway, Rich, why don't you go ahead and talk about one of your topics?
Sure. Um, Going through some of the Star Wars stuff, the Hollywood Reporter has reported that they are looking to cast Sabine Wren for the Ahsoka series. For those of you who aren't familiar with Sabine, Sabine is a character from Star Wars Rebels. It's a story that takes place pre original trilogy but post Clone Wars. She is of Mandalorian descent, so she's a true Mandalore from Clan Ren. And she is, I mean, without, if you haven't seen Rebels, I'm not going to give too much, but like she is instrumental on why the dark saber is in the Mandalorian. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm excited because I love that character so much.
Yeah.
She's a Mandalorian, so Mandalorians are a warrior kind of race. They're kind of like the Romans in our time. Like there's a Mandalore, but like the Mandalorian Empire spreads through multiple planets because they were conquerors, basically. Um, and she is an ex-imperial student, or which just to remind people, Luke, when he's talking about going to the academy, he's meant going
Uh-huh.
to the Imperial Academy. Like he was going to become part of it because the Empire is pretty much the government, right? So he was just like, I'm going to go to the academy, and
Yeah.
she did, and she was a weapons expert. Um, but on the team, she's an artist as well, and a lot of her personality comes through art and all those kind of things. And she's a great character. She's so there's a couple names that have been thrown out there for casting, right? And all these are rumors, so nothing is really
Set in
official.
stone.
But
Yeah.
the I pared down the list to a bunch who have actually been part of the Disney universe before, either through Marvel, Disney, or Star Wars already. So
Mhm.
I kind of want to quickly go through them. First one on that list is Lana Condor.
Yeah. To all the boys.
Yes. That's her most recent one, but she did play a little bit part. She's already been a Marvel character. She was
Jubilee.
Jubilee, yeah,
Yeah.
in X Men Apocalypse.
Yeah. I liked her.
Was
In
she in The Phoenix, Dark Phoenix,
In which one?
the last Fox
Oh,
X
the
movie.
last. No, I think it was only in Apocalypse.
Okay,
Yeah, she wasn't in Dark Phoenix.
okay. I think she's, from what I understand, might be the front runner, but again, this is all just rumor, or it could be just fan casting at this point. Another name that's been thrown out a lot is, of course, Chloe Bennett from Agents of Shield,
Yield.
right?
Quake.
Hmm?
Quake.
Oh, so I said wait. Like, okay. um, Jessica Henwick is another one who's also been a popular one. She was in Daredevil, and was she in The Defenders?
Yes, she was in the
Okay,
Defender as well.
right, and she was also in The Force Awakens as one of the pilots.
Right.
Yeah, and then like everyone, like Disney, almost. I'm pretty sure if there's going to be a future Disney legend, Jamie Chung is going to be there. She already played Mulan. She was in The Gifted, which is a Marvel show.
So yeah,
Uh,
and she was the voice of
yeah,
Go Go Tamago
in
Big Hero 6.
Yeah, is she the voice also in the series?
Yeah, she was in the series
Okay,
as well.
yeah. Yep. And then the one I am actually pulling for, which I think is a long shot, is the one who actually voices Sabine on the show, and that's Tia Sakar.
Yeah.
Who you might know from The Good Place. I think it's one of more high profile things.
Yeah, she played the what was her name? She was like the demon that was trying to usurp Michael, who played by Ted Danson.
But yeah, so those are the kind of names that have been thrown out, and I think honestly, if any of them get cast, I'd be super happy.
Yeah, I would be happy with any of those. I hope, and I'm glad that they're looking at Asian American actresses, because not a lot of people know that Sabine Wren is supposed to be, you know, as much as somebody from Star Wars could be Asian.
Yeah. Yeah, because that goes back to the whole thing that Mandalore is not just a planet; it's made up of several. So, but at one point before she was cast as Fennec Shand, I thought maybe Ming-Na Wen would have played Sabine's mother, who is also a high profile.
Oh, she would have been good.
Yeah. So, but she's Fennec Shand, so I'm happy that Ming-Na Wen is anything in Star Wars, and I'm super stoked to see her character in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and do another one. So the Eternals trailer. I was actually up last night at midnight. They released the trailer for the final trailer for the Eternals. And for those of you who don't know what the Eternals is, this is going to be the Marvel movie after Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi comes out in September, and September 3rd.
Yep.
And the Eternals comes out in November at some point. I can't remember exactly when.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Eternals, I think, is going to be the kind of craziest concept, because basically the Eternals were created by the Celestials, who, for those of you who have watched Guardians of the Galaxy, Nowhere is the head of a dead Celestial, so that's how big they are. And Ego, played by Kurt Russell in the second movie, was also called himself a celestial. So yeah, they're kind of like godlike creatures who created the Eternals, who in turn are also godlike creatures, and they have names like Icarus, Athena, and Phaestos, and Makari, which are all kind of have connections to like the Greek gods, and they were sent to Earth to protect humankind from the deviants. And now something has happened where there is something called the emergence that is taking place because of all the energy emitted when the snap happened during Endgame. And it'll be interesting to see what this emergence is. What do you
Yeah.
think it is?
I don't know. Like, Phase 4, obviously there's hints that Kang the Conqueror is going to be is the big bad, but then, with What If, the other people are saying it's that squid looking thing. I can't remember the name of
Uh-huh.
that character. So I don't know. Because Kang is definitely going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Quantum Mania,
Yep.
but I don't know if that means like it's just specifically to build up for that and not the universe as a whole. Um,
Right.
but I have a feeling. It's something bigger than just Kang the Conqueror,
I think it is. Yeah.
right?
I mean, definitely the Celestials are involved in this
Yeah,
because we saw them in the trailer, which is amazing because like I never thought that they would have actual Celestials in the Marvel universe until Guardians came, and then this is
right.
a continuation of that. And anybody who's seen the Guardians should have seen a Celestial or two.
One and a half. the, I don't know if you count the head as you know, but I mean, yeah, like the Celestials and the Watchers are now officially live action things, and I never thought we'd see one. I never thought we'd see a Watcher in live action,
Yeah.
honestly. So, like Phase 4 is. I'm glad that I don't know exactly what's going on. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, and I think it makes it more exciting that we'll see bits and pieces on the next couple films and the TV shows.
Yeah.
Um, and I have a feeling though at some point, I don't know if they're going to be part of it, but I have a feeling that the Fantastic Four are going to be. I don't think they're going to be in Phase 4, but I think they're going to be a product of Phase 4.
Thanks for
Yeah.
yeah. Two Tiny Wings has said something very interesting. I wonder if the Watcher is a Kang variant. Hmm.
That's a good
Because
theory. I kind of
that
like.
is a good theory. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. We don't
Maybe
know.
the King variants are all almost like timeless, so they could have been everywhere and anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So
So yeah, we will see. Hopefully, hopefully, season two of Loki will answer more questions.
yeah, and
And
maybe even somewhere along the line the What If series
yeah,
that's going on right now.
yeah, who knows? So anyway, that's just what I wanted to say about the Eternals. I thought the trailer was really cool, and so
Yeah,
this one, like I've been kind of like, how are they going to do this movie? But this trailer actually kind of explained a lot to me, and but not in a whole like, oh, they've explained the whole plot. It's just where have they been, and
Yeah.
were they involved? It answered those questions, which is kind of, I think, is going to be on everybody's brains anyway. So they might as well get that out of the way.
Yeah, I like how they just go like, why didn't you step in with the snap or like the Battle of New York and all these other things, right? Um, and also I like that because I think before this last trailer, the only thing we kind of saw was Angelina Jolie doing her thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we got to see like Richard Madden and his Superman eye laser
Yeah,
beams.
yeah, we got to see their powers.
Yeah, I got to see more powers from the rest of them.
There's a
Um,
scene. There's a scene in there where he's using his eye powers and kind of floating, and I was like, "Oh my god, he totally is Icarus," because I wasn't quite seeing it, but that moment I was like,
uh,
"Okay, I kind of I get yeah, I can see it now." So I think that the more that we see, the more you know. Well, at least for me, who grew up with the Eternals, we'll know, we'll see them more. And yeah. All right. So why don't you go with your next one?
sure. Um, so just really quick, something that came in today, I saw earlier today, is that Kevin Feige confirmed that Dominic Thorne, who is cast as Riri Williams,
Mm-hmm.
who is Ironheart, um, this is kind of like a young, I don't know if you describe her as a scientist or he's a young. It's almost like a Peter Parker type of
Yeah,
thing.
she's got the skills.
Yeah, who um, has like an Iron Man suit, right?
Yes.
But Kevin Feige has confirmed that she will make her debut in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever,
Hmm.
which like I can't remember when that's supposed to be slated to come out. Is that
Yeah,
2022? Do you
I
remember?
believe so. I believe that it is.
Right. Um,
Yeah, 2022.
so that's kind of cool. But which I'm assuming then will lead into her Disney Plus series, which is where we first heard that she would be coming to live action, is through the announcement of having an Ironheart uh, Disney Plus series. So
Yeah.
it's funny. It's like on my, I had to look at my pictures again, but like in line for Web Slingers and DCA, in the
Mm-hmm.
queue, there's a whole bunch of posters for kids who have
Like gifted.
yeah, right, and she is one of them, but I can't remember if they used uh, Dominique's picture for it, right? Because Peter
Oh,
Parker's there, the kid from Iron Man 3 is there in a
right.
poster. Doreen, who is Squirrel Girl,
Girl.
is
Yeah.
there. Um,
Lunetta,
oh,
what's her name?
Luna,
Luella
well,
something. Anyway, Moon Girl.
Moon Girl, and yeah, I was like, wait. I remember going through the line. I'm like, wait a minute, is this
Yeah,
Moon Girl?
yeah.
And then she is like a
Like
dinosaur.
Lunella, yeah, Lafayette, I think is the
Yeah,
name.
yeah. So I'm like, I mean, I mean, I know it's a ride and it's not like canon or whatever, but I mean, it's on their minds. So if you have ever wanted to see a kids superhero show about a girl and her dinosaur,
Yeah,
devil sore.
it's gonna come. It's gonna come. Uh,
Yeah,
he says July 2022 for Wakanda Forever.
nice. So I'd imagine Ironheart then would probably be a fall release on Disney Plus then.
Yeah.
So
Yes, Kelly. Baymax was Marvel. Big Hero 6 was the Japanese superhero team in the Marvel universe, and they said that they weren't going to use Big Hero 6 in the movies, so they gave it to Disney.
there you go.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so that's very cool. I'm just looking forward because we know what's going to come with all of these things that have been happening with Kate Bishop showing up in Hawkeye. We got Cassie Lang. We got the twins from WandaVision.
Yeah.
Riri. This is the Young Avengers right there.
Yeah, and like this far into all these announcements for all the upcoming movies, not one of them is an Avenger movie.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that we're going to see the Young Avengers by the end of the fourth
phase 4.
Phase 4, the fourth one. So yeah. Okay, so I will talk about my last thing, which is this is very quick. Free Guy and Jungle Cruise are doing well in the theater, so they are talking about possible sequels for these two movies, and I actually am excited. I haven't seen Free Guy yet.
Yeah, not yet. I've heard like from people I know that I trust their tastes. Yeah. It was very enjoyable, so I want to see it. I'm just debating whether I want to go to the theater to see it.
Yeah, I might try to go this weekend to see it. See if my sister is available. Maybe she wants to see it because I know she wants to see it too. Yeah. But Jungle Cruise I saw, and that was very enjoyable, and it definitely opens up for a second movie.
Definitely. Yeah, it was an enjoyable, fun. It's a fun popcorn movie.
Yeah,
definitely.
So anyway, all right. Well, that is really all I wanted to say about that. So how about I know you have a couple of quick shots.
Yeah, just some really quick things concerning Star Wars. Taika Waititi was asked about his Star Wars story because he is working on a Star Wars movie, and he says he has a story and that it feels very much him, and then we wanted to go too much into the Star Wars fandom, but of course it's very polarizing because somewhere along the line Star Wars fans forget the silliness of Star Wars. But I think like he brought a freshness to the Thor franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first one, I liked the first one. I think the second one got a little too, pun intended, I guess, dark. But the Ragnarok, version of Thor, I think just made it like a fun franchise. I can't wait to see what Love and Thunder is going to be. And I think, like Taika Waititi did an episode of The Mandalorian, and, it was very funny, but at the same time, was also very much Star Wars. So I think he knows how to find a balance between making sure that you don't take it too serious, but also takes it seriously.
Definitely.
Right? So I am like, I don't know, like they haven't really said anything about when this would come out or whatever, but it's definitely one of the things I am looking forward to on that one.
Like says, I know I love me some Thunder.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
No problem. And then, like, really quickly, for anyone who's into video games, there was a video game called Star Wars Bounty Hunters or something like that that's been kind of pushed back, and EA said mainly because they're focused on the Jedi Fallen Order series now, which is a game from EA. It's really good. If you're into video games, I highly recommend Jedi Fallen Order. In fact, the character from that movie or video game is going to have his lightsaber as one of the next Galaxy's Edge Legacy lightsabers. And the rumor has it that, because Asajj Ventress's, the Temple Guard, and Darth Maul's were all, you can join them together to form a double-bladed lightsaber, but all 3 of them are now retired. Cal Kestis is another one where you can combine 2 of them to form a double-bladed lightsaber. So, looking forward to seeing what that looks like. And then last is that, and definitely not least, but the Bad Batch ended its first season. Excellent. Like I think probably the strongest first season of any of the animated series. I think definitely stronger than Clone Wars, Resistance, and even Rebels.
Yeah, I think it really helped that we saw them in the last season of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So we kind of like had an idea of what they were. But yeah, I definitely love the first season.
Yeah, I would say they even have the better of the young character debuts, and that's Omega. I think I am really excited to see where that character goes.
Yeah, she's going to become a fan favorite after a while.
I think out of the bat, she has been Ahsoka took a little bit for people to warm up to. Same thing with Ezra. I don't think a lot of people clinged on to Resistance because even right now I can't remember his name. Kaz. Yeah. Then again, he seemed a little bit older to me anyway. But as like the main character of that, I think not a lot of people clinged on to him as much as the other ones. But I think Omega, from what I've seen, most people really like that character. As well.
Yeah.
But they did announce that there will be a second season of Bad Batch. So, in a no-brainer kind of thing, it's confirmed, right?
Yeah.
So, looking forward to that.
Very cool. Okay. Well, now we are to our big discussion piece, which is the Disney Genie service, and that was announced by Disney yesterday. This is going to be the replacement for Fast Passes, for Max Pass at Disneyland. And there's actually 2 components to it. There's kind of the free component, and then there is the paid component. So the free component is kind of like it's like a virtual assistant, basically.
Yeah.
And you can get itinerary updates from morning to night. So it'll help you plan that. Can find your favorites at a glance. So like, let's say that you want to know, like you wanted to go on Space Mountain, but it was really crowded in the morning. It will tell you later if that rush drops and the line is shorter. So anything. And it says enjoy more flexibility and fun. And that just basically allows you to join a virtual queue, make dining reservations, mobile orders. So basically everything that the app does right now, it will help you do as well. Then there is the paid component. So this is Disney Genie Plus, and this is where it becomes Fast Pass. So for $15 per day at Walt Disney World, and of course more expensive at Disneyland at $20 a day, you can choose a variety of attractions and experiences to go on through the Lightning Lane. And this is kind of how Max Pass worked at Disneyland. And for Disneylanders, the price is comparable. It was about $20 a day. It started off at 10.
Then it went to 15.
15, and then it went to 20.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was... I still think that it is a deal, but let's just go ahead. Let me just finish what the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that there will also be individual attraction selections. So you can, like, let's say you want to go on Rides of the Resistance and don't want to go through the whole uh, uh, virtual queue lottery system, getting a boarding pass, or you lucked out. You can choose to buy a fast pass specifically for that ride, and that will be an extra charge over the $20 that you pay. Or actually, no, I think you could do it this individually. That's fine, but prices they say will vary by date, attraction, park, and yeah, so that's it. But the regular queues will still be available, and so will virtual queues.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to pay for anything, you don't have to. This is just kind of a service that they're doing in lieu of the the fast passes, which were free before. What do you think of this?
Um, like I have mixed feelings on. I think what I do think is that it's going to affect Floridians a lot more than Disneylandians.
Yeah,
Only because we had a Max Pass, right? So we already had something similar. Whereas Florida, they didn't, but they had, because in Florida, you know, and then their system worked differently as well because you can do it in advance, whereas our system was day of, right?
yeah,
And I just thought, like, the one thing to compare this to, I think, would be Universal Studios because they have a paid kind of fast lane. I can't remember what this is called. But from what I remember, though, I've never did it because I'm like, that's way too expensive for anything. I'm like, eh. These are meant to be like, I don't think it's meant to be something that like pass holders would do every single time. With the Max Pass, the only time I considered it was like, okay, I have people who want to go to Disneyland, but don't have passes. So like, this is their one time to go. And I've done it where I've paid for the Max Pass because I'm like, let's make this worth a while and get them on as many things as possible because you're only here once every couple of years or whatever. I think that's what these are aimed towards. So I'm fine with that, especially in Florida. Like the thing about Florida last time I went was like I really had to plan my fast passes 60 days in advance, and that's crazy.
yeah,
Like I knew 6 days in advance, but then I was gonna get on the the dwarf train ride,
yeah,
and like at Mount Everest and all those kind of things, and it was like it's just one of those things where I'm like, if I wasn't on the ball and did it at that time and have a hotel reservation, so allow me to do it in 60 days in advance, there's like a big competition. Like I didn't get to do Slinky Dog Dash because of that, and obviously I could have waited in line, but I also didn't want to. So I'm like,
right,
because I had a big party and no one really wanted to wait and all those kind of things. But there's always been, especially here at Disneyland, like a big thing about fast passes and what it actually does to the queue.
yeah,
I never thought about it really, but there's a lot of theories that fast pass actually made the standby queue even longer, which I can see. Now that I kind of think about it, and like I've been going, a couple times during, the reopening, and they don't have fast passes, and it's still, and I know like, capacity is not what it was, but like, I've seen some rides before that are just like ridiculously long,
yeah,
and it doesn't seem that bad right now comparatively. Like if you look at the whole park as a whole and see where everyone's wait times are, the ones that usually have the highest aren't as bad comparatively as when fast passes were available,
right,
right? So Like, I get it, and I think the thing's gonna hurt a lot of people is that there's no free version of this. There's no free fast passes anymore.
Yeah. A couple things in the audience here. Kel says, I wonder how this would work with Florida residence pass. I can't imagine people that go very often will be willing to pay that fee every time. I think that they're going to come up with some kind of AP residence pass, like flat fee, I think. But
Yeah,
I might be totally wrong.
They did that with Max Pass here. So like, it came with the highest tier annual pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for annual pass holders who didn't have the highest tier, you can pay a flat fee for the whole, depending on when you got it. I think it was 75, then I think it was 100, then whatever. So I think they might do that. I think eventually the top tier Magic key holders might get it or get a discount on it. So that's what I'm hoping happens with it. But again, I don't like Max Pass was never meant to be an every visit option. Like, it was kind of like today. I guess, like I said, like it makes sense when you have a day where you really want to do a lot of things. Like your main objective that day is to ride everything, right? I know when I go, I don't have that as an objective most of the time.
Yeah, I don't always ride things. So even if I did a per day thing,
right,
I probably wouldn't use it all the time anyway. Like, it would be like you said, if you're with people, then you probably get it. But if I'm just by myself in the park, I probably either would get it. I would probably get it like once in a while, but not like all the time.
Yeah, and again, like my perspective is someone who lives literally one exit away from Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, well, you, Loren, you live hours away, but then at the same time, you're not a big ride person, right? So, it's gonna be your mileage varies, and everyone's opinions are legit. Like, it is expensive, and I think though that was the main issue with just the whole system, especially here in Disneyland, was fast passes combined with so many annual passes.
Yeah.
Right. And they had to figure out something. And also a year and a half of no Disneyland. Right. In Florida, at least they were able to operate, a couple months after the pandemic, whereas Disneyland stuck to their guns and, closed for over a year. So they need to recoup something. Right. Yeah. So I understand where Disney is coming from. Right. I just think they need to really watch what they are putting up for extra money.
Yeah.
And how much that is. Right.
Right. I'm going to ask you a question, but after, I just want to get through some of these that people are saying. Jean-Claire, hello, Jean-Claire. He said that Ahsoka didn't take any time for her to warm up for her, and but Resistance took some getting used to. And then she said, "Boo!" I'm not exactly sure which was booing to, but all right. And let's see, there were a couple things that were in here. Two Tiny Wings says that Fast Pass planning was a whole thing. Fast Pass morning was very stressful. Kelly was asking how much SoCal tickets were, but Connie answered that question for her. What is going to do to the DAS? You know what DAS is? I'm actually not sure what DAS means. DAS stays, according to Tiny Wings, but now you book online instead of the blue umbrella at ride entrance. All right.
I don't know what that
I'm
is.
not, that must be a Walt Disney World thing.
Maybe if someone
Yes.
can explain what
Tell
DAS
us,
is.
tell us what a DAS is.
I'm curious.
Let's see. I just want to see. Um, all right. All right.
Oh wait,
So,
there's
wait.
one that says Rich. Are you saying the parks are less crowded? Disneyland. So I went when they first opened, and it was super empty. And then as gradually I've gone every couple of weeks, and the crowds have gotten bigger, supposedly. But like I'm looking at the parking lot as a kind of barometer, and the parking lots aren't capacity. I mean, they're not even like mostly filled. So
Right.
it's this weird thing where it seems like it is more crowded. I don't think it's a full capacity, but judging by just parking, I've been there where all the parking has been filled,
Yeah.
and it's not that at all. Like the Toy Story parking, which is the kind of off Disneyland parking lot where you take a bus in, you know, that's not even half full like on the busiest days I've been there. So
Right.
this is weird, and I think it's like a combination of just people not wanting to wear masks as much as possible, so they stay away from being inside a lot. So a lot of it is outside. So it seems very crowded out and about because I think less people are inside of things, right? So it seems crowded, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah. All
Um,
right.
yeah.
So, Das, I should have known this because I
Oh,
am disability access system. Totally. I don't know why. At Disneyland, it's almost impossible to get a DAS. You
mm,
can, like you really have to go through hoops. I mean, like you have to have no limbs and whatever. They will, like, if your child is autistic or um they will make um things for that, but for the most part, like, even though I can't stand for long periods of time, I do. They're like, well, you can get a scooter or a wheelchair, and so that's what I do. It's fine, but I can't get a DAS. So anyway,
mm.
that's where it is. So Karen says that DAS is a game changer for us. Andy gets super overwhelmed with extended times in close, crowded queues, and there are other accommodations you can get, but we just choose to return time now. Yeah, which is great. That's great that they have that for Andy. Uh, Karen has an autistic son named Andy who is just stellar. Like, he's an amazing, and so I'm glad they have something like that for him. Okay, so my question to you was, how much would you pay for an extra if you wanted to get on Rise of the Resistance?
Huh. um, like I here's the thing. Okay, if it was first came out, I would have paid like $50 plus. But I've been on it, and it's like okay. Like I don't think I would. One, I don't think I'd pay right now extra to get a guaranteed ride on it if they still have the virtual queue.
Yeah,
If I can get up at 7 in the morning, whatever, and try for it, like I'll
yeah,
play that lottery. But then again, my perspective is I live down the street, and I do plan on getting the top key. So I'm like, if I don't get to go, then I'll try again some other time. Now, if in that scenario where I have family coming in from somewhere else, and you know, and there's the thing. There's one of the things where I think this benefits, because I know people who came here for the opening of Avengers Campus and tried to get on Web Slingers, no luck whatsoever. Like you, yeah, like right, and it's like, you know, if that's the one thing you wanted to do and you knew it was hard because of the virtual queue and how that worked, I bet there would be people willing to pay more to do it. Now, you know, you have to price it though in a way that it's not something that everyone's going to do, because then that makes it harder for everyone else to get on it. Which, I mean, like for web slingers, I think it's because of how that ride is right now. I think eventually I want to say you won't need it, but like, you know, it's almost like a dark ride / like Astro Blasters or the Toy Story Mania. It's a consistently moving ride, right? So the load capacity is actually really high. In the beginning of Avengers Campus, we still had social distancing, so it's like one group per car. So you can have a car that holds 4. Well, I don't know. I think it's 8 total, but like one side has 4 seats, and they'll only fill one because of COVID. Then that's going to make that line way longer. But they kind of thrown that out the door, because you know when I went on, I was with the full car. So it might not be as whatever, but I think when Mickey's Runaway Railway opens in whenever here, you know, like I might pay if that's one of those things, just so I just get to go on it, you know, first, or like that first visit. Like I know when I go, like that'll be my purpose, is to go on that ride, and I want to make sure that I can go on that ride. So I would probably do an extra $50. But as a pass holder, it's kind of like I have this built-in, like I can go to Disneyland anytime I want. So I don't see that as a cost, even though I pay a monthly fee, or, well, I think I'm going to do the whole thing in one shot. But, you know, so like an extra $50 to go, to me, and to make sure I go on that, doesn't really affect me as much. But that's my situation, right? Like I can afford to do that once in a while, you know. And I, you know, the $50 thing, like if it's that, sure. I mean, if it's $50 on top of a Lightning, the Genie Plus, then I'd be like, that's starting to get crazy. So, what's your take on that then?
I would probably pay about $50. I can't go as often as you do, even though I'm going to probably get the top key as well, just because I can't live in a world where I don't have 20% discount at Disneyland. So I would probably pay up to $50 to go. I have no luck at all with the lottery system. Like any kind of lottery system, I fail. I was just having this conversation with Karen earlier today. That
you do, even for Comic-Con.
Comic-Con, Rise of the Resistance, Web Slingers, I couldn't get on it. The Funko lottery system, can't get in it. So I would pay extra to get on anything. I mean, like if I were in a group and we all did it together and somebody got it, then that's great. But if I was by myself and I didn't get it right away, I'd go ahead and do it. I've only been on Rise of the Resistance once, and that's because of my luck.
Oh man.
So yeah. Anyway, let's see. Cal is leaving, it looks like.
Oh. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. People are still talking about the disability pass. I should mention, actually, Disneyland offers return times for people, like even if I'm in a scooter, they'll give me a return time because built for people in wheelchairs or anything like that. So they will offer return time. California Adventure is different because that was built for scooters and wheelchairs. So you have to stand in the line for that. Unless, like Karen was saying, it's that for autistic children who are overwhelmed, they will offer the DAS. So anyway,
Yeah. It's funny, like
yeah.
I was in line for like some of the Fantasyland stuff last night, and I was
Mhm.
just going like, "There's no way, there's no way a scooter can do these switchbacks. They're so
Yeah,
tight and so small. There's just no way."
yeah. There's no way
Right.
that you can do it.
So,
Like Peter Pan's flight, no
oh
way.
no, no.
Yeah,
Peter Pan's Flight, Alice in Wonderland, actually all of them, all of the Fantasyland rides. There's no way,
yeah,
unless you're going to Pinocchio because Pinocchio had a walk on.
right.
Poor Pinocchio.
Yeah,
I like Pinocchio.
I do too. I love all of the Fantasyland uh, dark rides. Like I just love them.
Yeah.
And I usually go on all of them when I'm there. Sometimes not Peter Pan's flight because it's so long. Even with the return time, it's still a long wait for some reason.
I I will so like web slingers. So web slingers is very deceptive with that whole virtual queue because when you get into so you get your boarding pass, right, your virtual
Yeah.
queue, and then you go in line, you're still in line for a good half hour, 40 minutes.
Wow.
Like that line is never ending. It goes in like there's like the main queue that you can see, then they have like an extended area just in case. But then
Yeah.
even after that there was like a makeshift addition with like those like removable barrier, those like metal gate
Oh
looking
wow.
things, and you're
Yeah.
like totally in the backstage area of California Adventure. What you know is like that wasn't built to be like, hey, check out this really ugly building.
Right.
So it's a crazy line, still.
Yeah. It would be worth it to me just to get good looks at the posters that they have up.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of Easter eggs in the
Oh yeah,
like.
like the actual queue for web slingers is it's pretty cool, and you can
Yeah.
tell which part that is. That's the part you can see from the normal vantage point. And then, like I said, there's usually that kind of like, oh, just in case it's really busy, there's an extended area that's kind of just plain, but it was definitely built for an extended queue. But
Right.
like I said, then there's like another part where you're just like, man, they just put this together.
Oh my gosh. That's so
Like tarp
funny.
over the gates, and it's like
Yeah.
they had like tape on the ground to show you where you're supposed to go. Like
Yeah.
that's not.
I've done that on Millennium Falcon. This one
Yeah,
was right.
yeah,
They dress it up in the back so it looks like you're in a what is that called with the all the cargo hold
yeah,
things?
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like it would be like that. It would be like, so there's a normal queue on Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run, and then there's that like, extended area. If it gets busy, they'll extend it there. Now
Yeah.
imagine that that area kind of like off to the side of the Falcon where there's nothing really there, that big open
Yeah.
area. Imagine they just put up barriers along that area.
Yeah.
That's what the web slingers is like.
Exactly.
So,
So anyway. All right. Well, anything else you want to say about the genie?
um, I mean, I think it's very a polarizing thing. Not a lot of
Yeah.
people are gonna be happy with it. I'm kind of like, I get it.
Hmm.
As someone who did enjoy the Max Pass thing,
Yeah.
as part of the higher tier annual pass, I loved it. Right. So I'm hoping that at some point that becomes part of it. But as someone who has bought the Max Pass for, specific scenarios, I'm fine with it. Um, it's just going to be your kind of like your perception, right? If it's just going to be, it shouldn't be something that you get every single time. That's not what it's meant to be, right?
Yeah.
But again, my luxury is that I can go once I have the key anytime I want ish.
Right.
And so for those of us who cannot go all the time, I understand where it becomes more of a hassle, especially that the free version of FastPass is gone. So I don't know. I think we're gonna have to see how this all plays out. Like I said, Universal's been doing it, and no one really complains about that, and they're more expensive.
Yeah.
Then again, it is Universal, it's not Disney, so I get that too. But I don't know. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have come to the end of our program. Thank you, everybody that joined us in the chat. We really appreciate it. Kelly, Jennifer, Karen, Matt, Connie, Kel, Allie, and Pete. Let's see who else. Jean Claire, and if I miss you, I totally. And Ginger. And if I miss you, I totally apologize. So, but you know who you are, and I love you. So, anyway, if you have not already, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit that bell for notifications, and do like this post. We'd love it if you would go right now and smash that like button. Anyway, with that, you can always reach us on all of our socials below. And with that, we will say goodbye. And thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you later.
Yep. Catch y'all on the flip side.